r/ask Reddit. What is the most useless invention you have seen? You often see this advertisement about the wristband that gives you electric shocks as a punishment if you try to break a bad habit, like smoking. This is called aversion therapy. Well, this electric shock wristband has no magical sensors to detect when you are doing what you want to stop, and you have to push a button to give you the electric shock. If you would just use rubber band around your wrist and let it slap on your wrist as a punishment, you would basically get the same result for a fraction of the price of the electric shock band. Yet, the big problem with the shock band is that if you're the kind of person who would break a commitment you make to yourself, e.g., I will quit smoking, you're also going to find an excuse not to press the button and shock yourself. This cigarette doesn't count because I'm stressed. This one doesn't count because it'd have to be someone else giving you the shock. There's a US patent filed for a device that delivers babies through centrifugal force by spinning the mother in a circle. Yeetus fetus. I have been summoned. So in my giant store, they have a robot that randomly turns on and rolls around the store looking for messes. And when it finds one, it just stands there and does nothing. Just standing there waiting for someone to clean up the mess. Marty, ours creates an overhead announcement. But 99% of the time the mess is a fallen sale sticker or something equally innocuous. Supposedly it also scans shelves for general inventory insight. But unless the one camera is wide angle, I don't believe that. Saw Bluetooth dice on Kickstarter a few days ago. What? Why? What are they connecting to? You roll them and your phone automatically adds up the total. I find it clever, but I can do second grade math pretty quickly myself. The toilet sloping 13 degrees downwards, making it painful to sit on for more than a few minutes. The Dairy Queen restaurant in my town did this with their booths. That place was booming every day since it was a block away from the biggest high school in the city and 2 blocks from our college. Apparently some jack-off manager thought sloped benches in the booths would make people leave the restaurant quicker. To his credit, it worked. However, they didn't come back. It went from being one of the busiest restaurants in town to out of business within a few months. It's now a great pizza place. God damn it, I have all these paying customers coming in every day, making me a successful business owner. How can I get 5% more customers with only a small risk of alienating my current customer base and ruining my entire business? Capitalism 101. Last year for Christmas, my insane aunt gave me a breakfast sandwich maker. I sold it before I used it, but the instructions made it look like you had to cook everything first, and then you insert the food in some slots and it will stack them up to make a sandwich. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. Is there a link? I wanna buy. I can never assemble sandwiches. This sounds like one of those testimonials from a shitty infomercial. Do you struggle with your sandwich assembly? Is it difficult to put 2 slices of bread together? Then turn your TV up because we have the solution. Whatever that bracelet was that supposedly balanced one's chi. I feel like that's a different category. It's a snake oil scam. Look up Chindogu. It's the Japanese art of the unuseless invention. Basically things that might almost work, but effectively don't because they're impractical, like umbrella golf clubs. My personal favorite Chindogu was these little umbrellas that are supposed to protect your shoes from the rain, which you install by drilling holes in the shoes. My favorite is the umbrella that has a clear sheet that covers your whole body, except it doesn't seem useless at all to someone living in a country known for having lots and lots of rain and where the rain never comes straight down. If I ever see one in a shop, I'm buying it. I care far more about not being cold and wet all day than I do about what strangers might think of it. Edit. I don't know what kind of coats you lot are wearing, but generally coats don't keep your entire body dry. Those old vibrating belts that you would put around your waist to help with losing weight. That's my first memory of thinking something was a ploy to take money from people through useless gimmicks. Good old jigglers. Because jiggling fat cells makes them go away, I guess. Just like having something swirl your hips around does. Like the Hawaii chair. It reminds me of a shameful moment when I bought a sort of tent that you would sit in with only the head emerging from the top. The tent acts as a sauna. Well, it kind of works, but I still hear the laughter of my wife gently mocking me the few times I used it in the living room. She even took pictures. Shame, shame, shame. My granddad was a NASA master machinist for the Saturn series rockets. On his break times, using a bit of spare metal, he'd create little trinkets and gifts for my grandmother, and one he created for my dad and uncles was what he called a do-nothing machine. It consisted of a solid steel rectangle about 3 x 3 inches and maybe a ½ inch thick with 2 grooves cut in a cross pattern and a handle to make 2 plates move back and forth within the grooves as you spun the handle. My dad and uncles never found anything useful for it, and when I was a kid I would try and fail to crack nuts to eat with it. If anyone else is curious as to what the hell I'm talking about, look on Google for a do-nothing machine. It's called the Trammel of Archimedes. Its purpose is to move in an ellipse, used for cutting perfect ovals back in the day. Learn something new every day. Neat. Thanks. Fake testicles for dogs. I knew a lady that had this done so that she could still show her dog, but had no interest in studying him if he won. She just wanted to keep her hobby. You cannot show a neutered dog and the judges never noticed a difference. That's their market, and where most of them are sold. The Mendocino motor. Its power output is too damn low to fulfill any meaningful task except showing off its own principle. It's a nice desk decoration though. That's not a useless invention, that's a dope office ornament. I want one. For the unknowing. These refrigerators with Bluetooth and Pandora. Ducking why? You can't now buy an oven with a camera in it, so you don't have to get up and check it. Just look via an app on your phone. I could be interested in that one, though. I have to open my oven to get a decent idea at the color of stuff I'm baking right now, which lets heat steam out and can affect the baking. If I could get a better image quality without opening the oven at all, it'd be a pretty solid improvement. I'm not joking when I say this, but battery-powered solar panels. What? They are solar panels that charge the battery when it's sunny and the batteries operate the solar panels when it's not sunny. This is so the solar panels turn into a makeshift wind turbine when really strong wind blows them off the roof. The wind turbine then charges a second battery that when it's raining will release all the stored energy to power a laser that will melt through a plastic bucket filled with gasoline. Gasoline will then spill over the entire contraption and be set alight by all the shitty wiring. The burning solar panel's wind turbine will then evaporate all the rain. All the rising water vapor is funneled into a vertical tube at the end of which is a turbine that powers a dynamo. The dynamo then supplies electricity to your house. AirPod wires to never lose them. Want to spend an enormous amount of money to flex your silly AirPods, but don't want to risk losing them? Just buy these nifty strings. Never seen before technology. The electric hammer, so you don't have to swing it. I thought it was just something The Simpsons made up for an episode, so it's real? I'm sure I saw a YouTube video of it back in the day, but for the life of me I can't find it again. There's a video of a guy who makes the one from The Simpsons episode and it's honking. The pet rock. So useless and yet it made millions of dollars. Genius if you ask me. The FBI really outdid itself this time. Such a genius way to make tons of cash and smuggle secret microphones into millions of households. Edit. A word. Automatic soap dispenser. The marketing campaign said there are so many germs on top of a push-down dispenser that you shouldn't touch it and use the automatic version instead. It didn't seem to matter that immediately after touching the top of the dispenser you wash your hands. I totally understand what you're saying. The only thing I can think of is if you have like visible gunk on your hands like chocolate sauce or chicken juice. Sure, you could just clean the soap dispenser after you've washed your hands. IDK, that's all I got. See ya. I think it's more about conserving resources, the same as the automatic faucets and automatic paper towel dispensers. When it's controlled automatically, you use less soap, less water, less paper, which is in the best interest of the owners. There was a TV show on True TV called World's Dumbest, and each episode would be just a collection of different videos with celebrities reacting to them. They had World's Dumbest Inventions where they showed off dumb crap. I think the worst was a plastic thing sort of shaped like a dog. So if your dog wouldn't stop humping things, it had a designated thing to hump. So someone would buy it for the dog. The DVD rewinder? I remember those being sold, and people being convinced that it lengthens the life of the DVD by running it backwards. Some of them could resurface a scratched DVD similar to the old CD Doctor. The salad fork. I don't see why shorter makes it better. Cake icons. I didn't realize. Happy day me. Juicero. LOL. Yep, I remember watching a video on YouTube about this and the dude was able to squeeze just as much juice from the packet as the machine did. This. My husband got one of these from an extremely famous person he worked with on a film. That celeb gave one to every crew member, 100 plus people. Useless device. I opened a juice packet. It was ground up fruits and veggies. All the machine did was squeeze the packet. And yes, you could get pretty much the same amount out by manually squeezing the packet, and the process created a ridiculous amount of waste because the packets were shipped in insulated boxes with freezer packs. Huge box with a few packets. My husband put the machine back in the box and dropped it off at work. Of course nobody told the celebrity what a huge waste of money the gift had been. This'll get buried, but it's an invention that 8-year-old me came up with for a school project. It was a giant tape player that you kept in the fridge and put your milk on. The weight of the milk would trigger the play button, playing an audio recording saying you do not need to buy milk. Then, when the milk was running low, it would be too late to hit the play button and the absence of the audio would indicate that it's time to buy milk. All that, including hitting the stop and rewind buttons almost every time you put the milk away for something a person could easily see. A curved plastic box for bananas. First of all, size and curvature varies from banana to banana. Second of all, being in a plastic box will cause it to ripen faster. Third of all, it's already enclosed in its peel. I always thought those were to help prevent the banana from getting damaged if you're carrying it around in your bag for the day more than long-term storage. You can get a banana hammock that gently cradles your banana somewhere safe. Beer foamer. So that your beer has a nice foamy head, like beer on TV. Came across it at a yard sale. Still in the original packaging. LOL. Anything 5-minute crafts has cooked up edit. This is the first time this has ever happened. So I've earned this right. Ahem, thank you for the gold. Kind stranger. Testicles for your truck. Like most things in this thread, it's actually intended for disabled people. Lies. Those are super useful for me. It lets me know the driver will, with a 9,999% certainty, be opposed and I won't like them. Socks for hands. Aren't these mittens? Nope, literally socks for your hands. Pretty much anything in the Sky Mall catalog. A $600 end table shaped like a sumo wrestler. I'll take 4. Or kitchen gadgets that are specific to one food ingredient, i.e. the banana slicer, the taco proper, pizza shears, the egg cooker, etc. The pop-up I am 18 or older on porn site. Those have a use to the site owner, who can then say hey, we asked. A protective case for the Nokia 3310. Nokia brick. Open bracket. Edit. Thank you guys for 500 upvotes. Remember that kid who even made it to medias about making a machine to harvest free energy using coils and a spoon and the sucker journalists ate it up? Yeah, that. It's useless to boot. Sure, he did indeed harvest enough energy to barely light up a few low-powered LEDs, but was completely bullshitting as that few cents worth of free energy he was harvesting was just his dad's several $100 electrical bill he took it from. Been watching some old episodes of Shark Tank recently. Two come to mind. One guy had a webcam blocker so people don't spy on you by hacking your webcam. That's a real concern. But his offered solution was a little plastic clip, I forget the name he gave it, that you pop on your computer or smartphone so it covers the lens. He was selling them for $10 each. Mark Cuban asked him why anyone would pay him $10 when they could just use a post-it note that they probably had lying around anyway to do the same thing. The guy's response was, "You're right. This is my biggest competition." And then pulled a stack of those alternating side post-its out of his pocket and waved them around and then said, "Who wants these stuck all over your computer and forgets about them though?" He was prepared. He had apparently thought of the reason his invention was useless and plowed ahead anyway. The second one was the elephant in the room. Literally, that was their product. The inventors were a couple that had met and gotten married in 6 weeks and had a genius product for conflict resolution based on their 18 months of marriage. It was a little plastic box with a cover over it that had a plush elephant inside. You leave it on your coffee table or whatever, and when one spouse needs to talk to the other, they remove the cover and reveal the elephant in the room, so when the other person comes in and sees it, they know they need to talk about something. You know, rather than just going up to their spouse and speaking to them like a sane adult. Also, they were selling them for $60 a pop for a 6-inch plastic cube with a $2 plush elephant in it. The plastic tub you put boiling water in and then soak dry pasta until it becomes soft and gummy and gross and ready to eat. I'm an idiot who actually bought one of those things. The first time I used it, I realized 2 things. First, I was adding an unnecessary step to the pasta cooking process. And second, all it did was make the pasta stick together at the bottom when I tried using it for elbow macaroni. Isn't that just a pot? The useless box. I love the little move the guy makes in the video where he goes to switch it on but pulls up short, like he's faking out a living creature. Eyelashes for cars. It's ugly and a waste of money. Chelsea tractors aka SUVs built for the unforgiving terrain found in suburban areas. But nothing says environmentally conscious like 2.5 tons of steel to drive you precious offspring half a mile to the kindergarten. I remember seeing big pens marketed specifically for women. Why the butts would you gender a pen? Literally everything Michael Reeves makes. I'm looking at you, penis gun. The twinkle tush that covers your cat's butthole by tying a glittery circle onto the base of the tail. If you can't stand looking at cat butt, I have bad news for you about owning a cat. The eject button on a remote control for a DVD player or VCR. Eggies. Apparently without it I'd be peeling eggs all day. Shoe umbrellas. I kid you not. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.